The Republicans have finally delivered their bombshell report against Hunter Biden, finding him about as corrupt as anyone else that has a famous name. The New York Times recently called this report that was delivered on Wednesday, quote, little more than rehashing of unproven allegations. So now they write, an election year investigation by Senate Republicans into corruption allegations against Joe Biden Jr. and his son Hunter involving Ukraine found no evidence of improper influence or wrongdoing by the former vice president. Meaning, nothing untoward, basically. No wrongdoing. This is Benghazi all over again. Now, the investigation did find that Hunter Biden had, quote unquote, cashed in on his father's name, of course, to close lucrative business deals around the world. It also concluded that his work for Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company then mired in a corruption scandal, while the former vice president was directing American policy towards Kiev, had given him the appearance of a conflict of interest and alarmed some State Department officials. However, no evidence of criminal wrongdoing was found. Wow. Boy, what a shocker. Hey, did you know that family members of rich and powerful people happen to use their name as an advantage to get money and privileged political positions or privileged jobs? I know. Oh my God. Stop the presses, everybody. Wow. Turns out sky is blue, water is wet, and rich people use their name to get an advantage. Wow. Look, this is red meat for the base. All right, just like Benghazi, just like the emails, everything, right? What it does is that it shows powerful people with powerful names. They engage in systemic corruption. That's what this entire thing has been, right? So now the report itself alleges that, right? And then says, well, we're not going to do anything about it, though. Oh, really? So, wait, you're not going to do... Like, okay, there's corruption there. We all agree. There's corruption, there's nepotism, et cetera, right? That's a part of systemic corruption. What are the Republicans going to do about it? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Why? It's because, well, they also partake in that systemic corruption. And the most visible example is the president. I mean, again, look at Donald Trump and Ivanka and Jared Kushner, right? So Jared Kushner has very important positions, right, in the administration. Coronavirus task force, he's ahead of it, okay? He's ahead of his own shadow council on coronavirus. He's also been in charge of peace in the Middle East, right? What did he bring to the table when it came to qualifications? He's a slumlord from New York with a famous dad and happens to be married to Ivanka Trump. Those are his qualifications. Why is he doing anything when it comes to peace in the Middle East? I mean, yes, he actually ended up trying to extort another country for loans to help him with his failing building in New York to try to get I think it was somewhere around $600 million from the UAE. I mean, it just in order to service this building. That appears to be a conflict of interest in his role in trying to put forward peace in the Middle East, which, by the way, we don't have. Come on. Or you could go with, Ivanka Trump, trying to get special deals from China when it comes to her business, getting trademarks. Weird how that works. But nobody has a problem with that on the Republican side. I do. I have a problem. I'm not a Republican. But I also have a problem with what Hunter Biden did because he has absolutely no qualifications to serve on the gas board of Burisma either. And is only there because of his name. Now, the difference is, of course, Joe Biden didn't appoint him. Donald Trump absolutely appointed Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump as advisors to the White House. So there is a big difference there, and that is a good example of nepotism. Nonetheless, This entire thing has been marketed incredibly well by Republicans. For example, the Homeland Security Panel's Republican chairman, Senator Ron Johnson, had been boasting for weeks before this report came out that his findings would demonstrate Mr. Biden's quote unquote unfitness for office. Now, I had some serious issues with Joe Biden, and I will definitely not stop talking about them. But I'll focus more of them, more on them after the election, assuming Joe Biden wins and Donald Trump doesn't steal democracy. But at the same time, right, there's, Ron Johnson saying, oh my God, look, we've got a bombshell report coming in. Fox News do nonstop reports on it. And then later on, in the days before its release, in fact, Johnson, in an interview, said that there would be, quote, no massive smoking gun, saying that there was a, quote, misconception on the part of the public that there would be. So he's hyping it up. He's hyping it up like, I can't, look at this report. Look at this report. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to show how Joe Biden is so massively corrupt, which, again, systemic corruption. All of our politicians are basically corrupt because we have a system of corruption in our corrupt government. And then later on, he says, I don't understand why there's a misconception in the public of why this would be such a smoking gun. Come on. Now, the report's primary conclusions basically was that Hunter Biden's position had, quote, hindered the efforts of dedicated career service individuals who were fighting for anti-corruption measures in Ukraine. Okay. They did not clarify, however, the nature of that hindrance beyond saying that the situation had been awkward for career State Department officials who were required to maintain situational awareness of Hunter Biden's association with Burisma. Now, that could have meant a lot of different things, right? Situational awareness, like, okay, maybe we should keep an eye on Hunter Biden. I don't know. But now what the chairman had discovered during the course of this investigation is that the Obama administration knew that Hunter Biden's position on the board was problematic and did interfere in the efficient execution of policy with respect to Ukraine. I could see that happening. Okay. I think that it was pretty fucking stupid for Hunter Biden to take that job with zero qualifications. Even Biden himself admitted that looked pretty bad. And it made people uncomfortable who are doing an investigation of corruption. That said, wow, you got him? No, really? Come on. He also, by the way, in this report gets hyped up the fact that Hunter Biden received a lot of money from China. Oh no, he received a lot of money from China. Oh, but wait a minute. And it's not just China, but look at all these foreign governments giving money to Hunter Biden. Okay, but Donald Trump has also received a lot of money from foreign governments. Look, Russian investors gave a lot of money in loans to Donald Trump in his businesses, hotels. I mean, you had, I think it was Eric Trump admitting, like, yeah, the Russians given us a lot of money. They must really like golf. Okay. Not only that, but you also had the Saudis, right? You remember the reports on the Saudis giving lots and lots of money, overpaying consistently for rooms in Trump Tower. Donald Trump doesn't care what the money comes from as long as the money goes to him or his family. Not only that, you guys remember high-profile people becoming members of Mar-a-Lago right after Donald Trump got elected. And by the way, that's when Donald Trump hiked prices for membership for Mar-a-Lago. I'm just saying, these people paid to get access to him. So if you're going to talk about corruption, systemic corruption, oh boy, you're kind of having the wrong conversation about the wrong people. And so there's that. Now, it is systemic corruption, and we should fight against it. We should get rid of it. But what has Donald Trump done? And this is what's important about this report. What has Donald Trump or the Republicans done to actually fight against this kind of systemic corruption? What have they done? One policy proposal to go after systemic corruption. And look, it's fair. You can ask the Democrats the same question because, look, Democrats do kind of the same thing. So I'm not letting them off the hook either. But again, even the Republican Central claim that Biden had corruptly pushed for the ouster of the Ukrainian top prosecutor, which had been investigating Burisma as a favor to his son, who sits on the board, was unproven. There's just no evidence. The senators turned up no evidence to support that claim. Current and former government officials testified the decision to remove the prosecutor had not been merely Mr. Biden's position, but that most of the Western nations determined through a rigorous policy process. Because it turned out that prosecutor was also corrupt. I've went through this before. I've talked about this before. Look, this is just like the Voter Fraud Commission, which found zero voter fraud. It's just like Benghazi, that found zero wrongdoing by the Obama administration. This is like Hillary Clinton's emails, which, by the way, provided a lot of interesting information for what went behind the scenes in the DNC and showed how, of course, the DNC held their thumb on the scale for Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders back in 2016, and how much they despised the progressive wing of the party. But as far as the Republicans were concerned, those emails were supposed to be the smoking gun against Hillary Clinton, and they turned out to be basically a nothing burger as well. They found nothing criminal in them. Yes, they found bad decisions, as I've talked about before, but anything criminal? Nope. Not at all. And so, nothing, just a nothing burger. Nothing. And look, the reason is, and by the way, this is why it was just released. We got less than a month before the election. The whole purpose of releasing this report and doing it in the first place wasn't to root out corruption. Again, nobody in the government seems at all interested in removing the corruption. There are very, very few people, progressives, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar, the squad. Those people, actual progressives, they are interested in rooting out the corruption. Basically, everyone else, though, benefits from this corruption. And so, of course, they don't want to get rid of it. No, they love the corruption, but they know the American people don't. And that's why they continuously try to campaign on it. It's pretty gross. And this report is nothing more than them to try to campaign on, look at how corrupt Biden is.